So as we're going through here, I'm going to tell you a Bigfoot story. This one's been documented, and I first read about it when I was doing some searching about Daniel Boone. And Daniel Boone and his son, I can't remember which son it was. He was with, I think they were at home, and a couple of Indians, maybe 3 Indians, came in and stole a couple of ponies, and they took off. And Daniel Boone got his son, and they lit out after to track them. I think they tracked them for about 3 days when they finally found the Indians. I believe this happened in Kentucky. After about 3 days, they closed in to where there was a large Indian camp, and they knew they wasn't going to be able to get their horses back. So they decided to turn and go back home. And so while they were traveling, I think they'd went a few days without eating. I mean, they may have had some hardtack or maybe some jerky or something like that with them. But anyway, him and his son decided to split up. And they split up a little ways, and they were going to try to hunt them up a deer or something so they could have dinner that night, because they were still probably a day or day and a half from their home. So Daniel Boone and his son split up, and later on in the day, I believe it was, that Daniel Boone heard a report of a rifle or a musket. And he thought, well, his son's probably killed a deer. He'll need me help him clean it. And so Daniel Boone set off to find his son. He hadn't gone very far when he spotted from a distance what looked like a giant hairy man grabbing his son and lifting him high up and slamming him on the ground. And Daniel Boone raised his rifle because he knew that if he didn't do something, that creature was going to kill his son. And so the beast raised his son up off the ground, slammed him on the ground again. And I think it was when he was getting ready to lift him up again, Daniel Boone shot and hit him, I think, right in the eye, and killed the creature instantly. And he went over, and it took a day, the better part of a day, for his son to even get to the point where he even knew where he was at, because he was hit pretty bad. And he didn't know how in the world his son, if he'd shot at that beast, how in the world he would have missed him, because his son was as good a shot as he is. Well, they took, and I can't remember if it was a staff or stick or something, and they had measured the creature, and the creature was, I think, 10 foot 6 inches. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I read that story. It was 10 foot 6 inches tall. And so when his son did come to, he said, "Dad, I hit that creature in the chest." And he said it didn't even flinch. And he hit him about right where the creature's heart would have been. Well, Daniel Boone opened up that wound, and he'd noticed that this creature's ribs were very, very thick and very broad, to the point where the ribs actually touched, like he was wearing a breastplate, and a bullet wouldn't penetrate that breastplate. And so when asked about this story, he started to tell it. He was in a tavern at the time. He was going to tell it. Someone kind of made a snide remark, and Daniel Boone shut up. He wouldn't say anything else. And a very young man that was there was very, very interested in the story, continued to pursue Daniel Boone. And then later on that evening, he finally talked Daniel Boone into telling about the incident. So that's the incident with Daniel Boone and a Sasquatch or Bigfoot or whatever you want to call it. But that way you won't have, if you want to, you can hunt up the story. The story's there. And also Davy Crockett, which was born in the same county that I grew up in Greene County. Davy Crockett was raised along, I believe it was the Nolichucky River. And I may have that wrong, but I believe it was the Nolichucky River. I'm not sure. I can't say for sure, because I'm getting old and I just don't remember everything that I used to remember. But anyway, during the Alamo, the Battle of the Alamo, just before that happened, Daniel Boone was on his way there. Or not Daniel Boone, I'm sorry. Davy Crockett was on his way there. And a creature described only as a Bigfoot stopped Davy Crockett and told him that if he continued, he would meet his doom. Now, you can look up the story about that, and you can look up and find out what the exact words was that the creature actually said to him. But you know how the story with Alamo ended with Davy Crockett. I mean, he was killed. But I just thought that's two big instances that was, you know, back farther than the Gimlin film. I believe there's more to it than just that. You know, it was really kind of brought to light with the Patterson Gimlin film, but there's stories that you'd have to hunt through old newspapers and stuff that go way back, and the Indians tell about it before, you know, white man settled here. And so that's the story of Bigfoot from Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett. Me and Rowdy try to get over here in these mountains every chance we get. We love it over here. And most times on the weekends, my wife joins us. She works during the week. But I really appreciate you tuning in. I'm very humbled that you would watch my videos, and I really do appreciate it. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because I try to make a video once a week and post it. Sometimes I'll make a couple and then it takes me a week or so in order to get them done. I'll post 2 or 3 at a time. But I really appreciate it. At the end of this video, or not at the end of this video, but I'm going to just post these toward the end of the video. If you watch, there's only going to be another 3 or 4 minutes, and it's going to be what I've caught on trail cam. I think I kind of glanced through it, and I only got a couple of things that I caught. And one of them is a good shot of a coyote, and another really good sized black bear, and a little cub that's running by itself. The mother didn't show up in the camera, but that don't mean she didn't walk behind the camera. But I hope that cub's not up here by itself, because it's a pretty small cub. Anyway, share with your friends. If you don't care, you can shoot a prayer out this way. We accept prayers. We believe in the Lord. we want to try to bring you content that would not only expose things that's in this world that shouldn't be in this world, but I guess they are, and we, you know, just a few people have seen it. But I can tell you it's real. I believe they are some type of spiritual creature, because they're much stronger than a regular creature. I mean, they've been reportedly, they can tear a hog in half, or they've killed dogs, tore them in half. So they're pretty powerful creatures, and I think they are spiritual in nature. They are not just some hominid that's went unnoticed, some bipedal creature. I believe they are like the Nephilim. So anyway, that's my take on it. You can believe it if you want to. No, that's okay. When you see something, there's no going back. I mean, once you see it, I mean, you just know that it's real, and you just have to deal with it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it very much. But while we get out here and exercise a little bit, 77 degrees right now. I'm gonna chop this. I don't have my saw with me, but I got this mossy oak that Jonesy gave me, and you can see where I've been cutting on it. So I'm gonna attempt to cut the rest of it. I think I can get it there. All right, it's broke. Yeah. As you can tell, I make it much easier by driving over this now.